we're gonna use the sklearn model, which is part of the scikit library. And that's, if you want more details about that library, again, that's in the workbook. There's a link to get more details in Appendix D of the workbook. So what we're gonna do here in this code snippet basically is to import that library. And what we're gonna do first is store all the active power values from the filtered dataset into a variable called y. So y will be like our expected output, or what we're trying to predict basically. And then we're gonna create a training and scoring datasets. So what we're gonna do here, and I won't get into a lot of details, but there's a function which you can use to basically specify what are your inputs. So in this case, we're specifying that our inputs are air temperature and wind speed, and what's our output, which is the y variable, which basically includes the active power values. And we specify the size of the testing data set. So we're specifying a testing data set of 0.25, which is, so what we mean by that is 25% of the data set will be used for testing and the other 75% will be used for scoring. And this is typically what you do in a machine learning project. So you would have to split the data set into a testing data set and a training data set, or a scoring data set. And then you would run the algorithm on the test data set. So, and that's all split randomly. And so you would run your algorithm on the testing data set, and then you would check the results on the training data set. So that's how the model like tests itself and gives you in the end a coefficient of determination to let you know how accurate the model is performing. So when we run this function, we're going to end up with we're calling it here xtrain variable and xtest variable and ytrain variable and ytest variable. So what these are, so for example, the xtrain will include the x values. In this case, all the x values are the inputs basically, and the y are the outputs. So the inputs basically are air temperature and wind speed. So xtrain will include all the air temperature and wind speeds in the training data sets from the training data set. The xtest will include all the air temperature and wind speeds in the scoring data set. And similarly for ytrain and ytest. So ytrain will include the active power values in the training data set, and ytest will include the active power values in the testing data set. So it's gonna divide the data set this way. So I'm gonna run this. And again, here, as mentioned, we're not going to get into a lot of details on how to create machine learning models and which model to use. This is going to be just up to you based on your use cases and so on. And again, you can use AutoML to just automatically test different models and then give you the best model.